Welcome to our Sedona Ascension Retreat video series. We are so delighted that the incomparable spiritual teacher and highly attuned empathic healer, speaker, and author, Matt Kahn, will be joining us for this phenomenal event. Matt is the author of the highly acclaimed books, Whatever Arises, Love That. Everything is here to help you, and the universe always has a plan. He has also just released his newest book, All for Love, The Transformative Power of Holding Space. Matt is a YouTube sensation with over 21 million channel views. Followers are finding relief from the challenges of daily life through his heart-centered messages. Matt is so delightful to interview. He is so sincere, so authentic, so tuned in, and it is such an honor and blessing to have him speaking at our Sedona Ascension Retreat in 2023. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us. I am so delighted to be here today with incomparable spiritual guide, highly attuned empathic healer, powerful speaker, and captivating author, Matt Kahn. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's a true honor to be here.
Matt, I have been so inspired by all of your YouTube videos for years.
Thank you.
And I just have goosebumps all over saying it. Just sitting in my living room in the morning to start my day. And there you are, seated in front of a large audience with your most sincere heart, with your wonderful sense of humor.
Thank you.
With the way that you really look into the eyes of everyone that you're speaking to. It is so deeply touching and truly transformative. So I'm going to get emotional.
Oh.
You've just had such a powerful impact on my life and on the lives of so many others. Thank you for answering the call to your divine mission here on planet Earth, and you're fulfilling it so beautifully.
You're welcome. And I would equally say thank you and to everyone who continues to watch my videos and absorb my transmission. Thank you for giving me purpose. So it's equally I honor and thank you for honoring the calling that I've accepted. But truly, my thank you is thank you for allowing me to touch your life and giving my life the purpose that I came here to explore.
Well, you are so very welcome. You are the author of 4 best-selling books.
How'd that happen?
Whatever Arises, Love That, a cherished book of mine.
Yeah.
Your newest book, All for Love,
yes,
The Transformative Power of Holding Space.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite videos that you ever made, it's fairly recent, is the Cosmic Reset.
Oh, yes.
And it really reflects the theme of the event that I'll be hosting in March of 2023 that I'm just so delighted you've agreed to come to.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the Cosmic Reset is what you're referring to as the ascension.
Yes.
Can you expand more on the concept of both?
Well, in so many ways, each and every one of us individually and collectively, we're all going through a reset or a rebirth, right? Humanity is being reborn, not as a reflection of a conditioned history, but as an expression of unity consciousness. And each individual that is going through their own awakening that is contributing to the collective expansion. And so each and every one of us is really going through a reset or a rebirth as we face the past, any degree of past, individually or collectively, that we have denied or simply overlooked. We are allowing our deepest core wounds to be met with unconditional love, kindness, and self-acceptance, and we are allowing ourselves to go through what is a rebirth, and we are rebirthing ourselves into new expressions of consciousness. And we're doing it because individually, as we expand, we're enhancing and increasing the tipping point of what allows the collective reality to shift into greater consciousness by the way in which each and every one of us heal and expand on an individual level. So we are all currently going through a cosmic reset or a rebirth, and we're doing so to take the boldest leap in our personal journeys, but as a contributing force to the awakening of humanity.
Always so beautifully expressed in such profound ways, my dear. And so we can see how the collective wounds
Mm,
are being exposed, revealed to be healed.
yes.
And then we can come together to support one another on that healing journey.
When I wrote, All for Love, my recent book, All for Love, The Transformative Power of Holding Space, it was really the notion that how do we, at this pivotal time in history, how do we start living in a way where we are acknowledging the healing journey we are on, or anyone is on, whether they know it or not? And how do we begin to interact with others, especially in such divided times, without needing other people to see our point of view, without needing to find something to agree on? How can we actually meet in this moment and just talk to ourselves and each other, knowing the healing we're going through, whether we're aware of it or not? And how can we actually allow this time in history to be the most fertile time of healing by the way in which we talk to ourselves and others? And so when I wrote this book, it was really as kind of like an owner's manual to help us through this stage of awakening and ascension, but really how to start bringing the truth of love that's always within us into our everyday lives, into our responses to others. And how do we hold a space for consciousness even when the people of the world around us may not be acting as conscious? And so it was a really incredible opportunity for me to be used as a space where the universe channeled through me one of the most incredible works I've ever brought to this world. And I'm so excited to present at your event, which won't be a repeat of the book, but it will be brand new teachings that deepen and enhance the experience the book offers.
Mhm. And I know you have insightful answers to all of those questions you just put forth. And so I would like to inquire if you might be open
Mhm.
to setting the heart-centered vibrational resonance of pure unconditional love, and then immersing us in some teachings that you may feel called to share today.
Absolutely. And thank you
Yeah.
for inviting that. And thank you for allowing me to be here. And for everyone watching this, thank you for being alive at this moment. And thank you for shining your light. And thank you for being an empathic, heart-centered way shower of a new evolving paradigm. And so as we sit here together, one of my gifts is that I allow spirit to speak through me, although I'm not a trance channel, I'm an embodied one. And the gift is that I bring forth transmissions of healing energy that come through the sound of my voice. So as I speak, you're entraining to the vibration that is speaking its way through the words I'm being guided to share. And with the intention to entrain to unconditional love, let us take a moment and experience what it means to be in such an unconditionally loving space. And what unconditional love is the reality that is always present, only obscured by whatever we think we should or are supposed to do with this moment. And so as an invocation to returning back to the love that's always underneath it all, and to do so with less doubt and distraction. No thought needs to be resolved. No feeling needs to be fixed. No circumstance needs to be changed. For it is all being held and transformed by love. And we allow the transformation that love offers to everything it holds and embraces to expand to ripple out, to grow in power, and to speed up the fabric of time so that which is being transformed transforms at a faster level of perception by how much of you joins with the love that is always here, holding and transforming it all. For it is not your responsibility or burden to bear to be in charge of the transformation at hand. For you are given free will, just as your opportunity to re-enter love's kingdom by knowing how powerfully it transforms you and every inhabitant along this earth plane. So you are given free will just so that you can remember your life purpose as having an opportunity to be recorded in time and as a manifestation of love in action. To remember your life purpose is to, as often as you are called, say yes to a love that holds and transforms everything on your behalf. Love does it all through the power of our breath, one breath at a time. Our role is to simply say yes to love as often as we desire and to watch how powerfully our world transforms by the power of you returning to love. A love that already holds everything, a love that already transforms everything, a love that has already transformed everything, even though in the movie of our perception, we're watching how it occurred, even though the ending of the movie has already been filmed. So may we in this moment say yes to love, a love that has already won, a love that already has the final say, a love that has already transformed everything in existence. For it transforms everything that it holds. Our role to strengthen that power of love, to expand its power of transformation, and to speed up the fabric of time, is to say yes in returning to love now. For it is that love that I meet you in, and the love I meet you as.
Bless you. I absorbed all of that love into every cell of my being.
Yes, thank you.
And then, of course, pouring it into the ley lines of the earth so that love
Absolutely.
can spread throughout the planet.
Absolutely. May it be so, as it already is.
Exactly as it already is. And it feels like through this transmission, you're revealing that this heavenly realm, this heaven on earth, already exists. And all we have to do is resonate with that love frequency to step into it.
That's right. It's a dimension that is real. It's where I live. And you can imagine what it's like to live in a town with no neighbors. So come on in, everybody. Let's all buy houses. But in truth, the dimension of oneness is already alive within all things. But the trick is that while oneness is alive in every reality, every form that we see, it may not have penetrated one's individual perceptual lens. And so the strange thing is we're actually living in a reality where heaven on earth has already dawned. But it seems like it's hiding behind this really thick curtain, which starts to dissolve and diminish as more and more people turn inward to become aware of the unity of the heaven on earth that is already here. And when people can look at the world and say, there's no way that a world that operates like this is heaven on earth. But isn't that the greatest misunderstanding, that we're judging life by how it looks? And the way it looks outside of us is actually a reflection of what has already happened, come and gone. So our present moment reflection is actually of the past. And what we don't see of the future is actually what's already here. And so as we become more heart-centered, we don't wake up out of time as an illusion. We see time as a very malleable tool And the more conscious we become, the more the perception of time seems to bend and shift. And we start to realize that what we thought was present moment reality was actually an experience of a moment that has already occurred. What we call the future is something up ahead that is already here right now. And as we start to take the blinders off of our lenses at the rate at which we face our traumas, heal our despair, face our wounds, embrace our shame, and give our shadow and our darkness and our innocence a safe place to land, the blinders come off, and we realize humanity is at a certain place in the plot line of this movie. But if the movie has started, it's already been filmed from start to finish. And so we are enjoying the movie of ascension. It's an interactive movie we are participating in. And the more that we participate in knowing that heaven on earth is already here, the more the plot line starts to speed up towards that realization. For we have to know it in our hearts in order for life to reflect it back to us. And it's not pretending. It's not inauthentic. It's just accepting that no matter what I see with my human senses, there is always a greater reality that is already here. And my job is to say yes to welcoming that greater reality and letting it influence the beauty of my responses and transform the patterning of my behavior so that I can be a space that makes it available for everyone to realize what is already here now.
Whatever arises, love that. And it brings me to the revelation that our ego will continue to allow things to arise that have yet to be healed individually and collectively.
Right.
And it feels so transformative the way that you guide people into greeting fear with love.
Yes.
Can you expand on that?
Yes. I have personally, throughout my life, starting at age 8, gone through a vivid series of profound awakenings to where for the last 15 years, I've been living in a meditative state that is known as samadhi, and in a samadhi state, it means abiding awakening. There's a point when you awaken and it's like a flash or a remembrance or a realization, kind of like remembering where you put your car keys all of a sudden, right? A flash. And sometimes that flash can be, oh my God, I'm the universe, or I've lived my life as a wave and I'm really the ocean. And that can be a flash of realization that may just be a sneak preview of where you're going to eventually live your life. And eventually, these awakenings stick, they integrate, you're able to hold the frequency. And based on these awakenings that I've gone through, that the energy that I channel is not only helping people heal wounds, but go through these awakenings of consciousness. But based on that, I have the living experience that everything is divinity. And it doesn't mean that the way people act is divine-like, because you can be an expression of divinity still light years away from knowing your power and acting consciously. But I live in a reality where everything is divine expression manifest in form. So when I became a healer in this journey, having gone through these awakenings, I started to look at the way healing was being facilitated. And it seemed to sometimes be a contradiction to the deepest realization that everything is divinity. And I thought, what if I created a healing journey for people that complemented that we're all divinity and didn't look at anything as a problem to persecute, to ostracize, to reject? We're not going to talk disparagingly about our minds. We're not going to insult the ego. We're not going to talk bad about our family karmic patterns or our patterning. Because if everything is the divine, we can heal and transform without forgetting the remembrance of divinity. And so what I've been channeling over many years and what I continually bring to each moment, this interview, and of course, the event we're doing together that I'm so grateful to be a part of, is how do we heal and not forget that everything is divinity? And that means that something like fear, for example, or anger or sadness, these are feelings coming from parts of ourselves from different experiences. And it's like a child saying, can you hold me while I feel what I feel and just allow me to be seen and heard as I am? And when we do so, we are waking up out of the identity of the victim of our circumstances, and we're actually taking on the persona of one of our spirit guides. And that's because in the earth plane, the earth, which I call the Angel Academy, is a place in which souls go through a journey of consciousness. In heaven, we're told, hey, you get to guide the life of a human being as training of becoming a spirit guide or an angel in future timelines for future incarnations. And what the fine print doesn't tell you is that you're learning to become the spirit guide of the body you're inhabiting. And so really all of us are here in this school as evolving spirit guides and angels, learning to hold space for ourselves. It wakes us up out of the identity of the victim and puts us into a new identity as a space holder, as a spirit guide, as an angel, as a healer. And it allows our innocence to feel the safety of a parent or an authority figure it may not have had from the past. And it allows the body to heal while we are holding space for this expansion, healing not by getting rid of the stuff that's uncomfortable and trading up for the good stuff and no degree of superstition, but how do we actually radically heal without forgetting the name of divinity imprinted in every form throughout time and space? And this is the gift I offer.
Gratitude is divinity remembering itself.
I love that.
I do too, because it feels like when you just live in gratitude for everything that arises, gratitude for every moment of every day that you're blessed with. It's such a precious gift, this gift of life. And if we can perceive everything as a valuable lesson that we chose to come here and learn in this reality of duality on a mission to transform it into oneness.
That's right.
We can really step in to our mission. In your interviews, I have witnessed you presenting everyone who chose to come here to planet Earth as a missionary here on a mission. Yes. And that really empowers your audience.
Yes.
Can you talk more about that?
Yes. And just to touch briefly on what you were just saying about gratitude, I love gratitude. One of my favorite things to be grateful for is pain, because sometimes I think that like sometimes it's easy for people to judge. Being in pain means I'm not in gratitude. Instead of what I want to do is bring two separate things into oneness together, which is what if we were grateful for the pain? And what if we actually cheered on the pain and said, thank you for reminding me that the pain I'm feeling is a healing taking place and not something I'm doing wrong. So I like gratitude a whole lot. And I love bringing gratitude, not to see it as gratitude versus discomfort, but bringing gratitude into discomfort. And when we do that, we actually see how discomfort actually responds and transforms when we are grateful for not just the preferable things. But to touch upon what you were saying, as everyone is a missionary, when I came to this earth and as I evolved in my life and I became aware that I was a healer and I was here on a mission, when I was going through my awakenings and seeing divinity in everything, I was seeing my own divinity, masquerading as other people. And there's a common teaching that says, oh, life's a mirror. And a lot of people believe that the egoic behavior of others is reflecting something unprocessed or unhealed in them. And what I started to realize in my own direct experience is that the mirror teaching is just taught a little backwards. Instead of other people being a reflection of your unconsciousness, other people's consciousness are a reflection of the light that you're becoming aware of. And so when every person embraces the fact that they are here on their own journey as an evolving spiritual master, I respect and meet every human being as an archangel in training, an evolving spiritual master, a Christ being in their journey of initiation. I came here to this planet to awaken more masters and to leave this planet a lot more evolved, loved, and conscious than when I arrived, because that's my mission. And my mission is to activate the light of any missionary, any person. And we say the word missionary or aspirant or master in training, we say, or initiate, we say these words to suggest someone who's willing to dedicate their life to something deeper and beyond the ups and downs of personal gain. and something that contributes their life force energy to the betterment of the planet. And so I greet everyone with that respect, because as we're all on our healing journeys, it's the greater perspective of who we are and what we're here to do that fundamentally brings our healing journeys to a state of completion, that rescues us out of endless spirals of healing, that begins to reverse the karmic cycle, which on a collective level will start to reverse global warming as more and more people wake up and expand in heart-centered consciousness. And I just dedicate my life to igniting the flame and expanding the brightness of every awakening being, because the master in me serves the master in others, helping everyone heal while never forgetting the name of divinity from one breath to the next.
You talk about this heavenly realm being radiant selflessness.
Yes,
and so as such, it feels like an invitation to become as selfless in service as the radiant love light being that we have the potential to be.
Yes. And I think that when we say selfless, it doesn't mean that we ignore ourselves. Selfless means without agenda. That's what that word means. So when I say selfless, because sometimes people can focus so much on service that they negate serving their own needs. And of course, it's no measurement of love to give compassion to others and withhold it for ourselves, or to give so much to others that we don't have enough for ourselves. One of the benefits of my book, All for Love, is it teaches us how to share our energy and time with others without overgiving and without growing resentful. And so I think it's just an interesting balance that we're all learning to strike. It's an interesting balance where selflessness is not I do for others and my needs don't matter. Selflessness means I enter this moment without an agenda, without a need to try to force myself or any other character to do something different, to be something different. I'm not going to put on this mask to try to sweet talk this person and increase the odds of them doing for me what I'm here to learn to do for myself. And we really wake up out of the subtle, socially acceptable forms of manipulation and out of the perpetual tendency to put on masks, have agendas that we can confuse with intentions, where instead we just meet this moment openly. And instead of others or ourselves being seen as objects that are either here to bring us closer or further away from our desires, instead we meet each other in sovereignty. It is my wholeness that meets the wholeness and brings the wholeness further into your awareness. By the time we spend together, I have no agenda for being with you other than to care for you to whatever degree I'm called to care for you, and to whatever degree I can give and you can receive. And that we meet without agenda, then we can serve our needs together. Then we can serve each other's journeys together. We can come together in a state of unity, because unity is not when we have things in common. Unity is just two people meeting when neither one has an agenda for the other one to play out. So when I say selflessness, yes, selflessness, but not a selflessness vacant of our needs and void of self, a selflessness that is just free of any agenda and enters the moment openly as the divine always does.
When we look at the world around us and we try to see all the positive radiance within it and embrace the global awakening,
Right.
we're still faced with some challenges, areas that could benefit from more love. You talked about a tipping point. Do you feel, or is it your understanding or awareness that truly when enough people on the planet awaken, that the entire planet will shift into a heaven on earth expression?
Yes. And the proof of it is that if it can ring true in our aspirations, if we can envision it as a possibility that we desire or hope, that is a recognition or a confirmation that it already exists along the continuum of timelines that we would call future pending realities. So if we can envision it, if we can desire it, if we can be attracted to it, it's because it has already been created. And the more and more beings expand into a consciousness that match that frequency, the more what has already occurred comes from behind a thick curtain and steps into reality. And through our perceptual lens, it will look like a movie, like something is happening, something is expanding, something is changing, things are breaking down, new things are happening. Because real time, as we call it, real time compared to how things work in a quantum field, real time is actually slow motion. So what we think of as our fast-paced life is actually slow motion. And everything that already happened has already happened, and everything that will happen is going to happen. And the more and more beings awaken to what is already the case, which is the consciousness of heart-centered truth, the more that which is potential starts to become more of our lived reality. So the fact that we can desire it, the fact that we can even say, wouldn't it be cool if that happened? Or even people that say, oh God, we're lifetimes away from that happening. The truth is, we're actually closer to it than we believe. And the truth is, this is actually the most fertile time to awaken in the history of mankind. And that, from my perspective, it's not about trying to stay positive. It's not about avoiding the negative. It's not about seeing the negative needs to be reformed and made more positive. Instead, we bring our positivity, our love, our kindness, our compassion, and we embrace any degree of discord, separation, or misery, or need, or imbalance. And we say, this part of me is lacking the wholeness this other part of me has. So let me bring these two sides together. Let me love what arises. I don't have to like what's happening, but let me love that part like I'm embracing a child in pain. And may I remember that embracing a child in pain by feeling my feelings and loving myself is simultaneously on a quantum level, loving and embracing the children in every heart and bringing all beings into a higher level of consciousness where that which is already the case can come out of hiding. And in our perceptual lens, seems like something is arriving, but we're all just waking up and remembering what is already so after a very long night of innocent dreaming.
You've talked about a low vibration actually being a slow vibration.
I love that teaching.
I do too. Could you please inform the audience?
Sure. You know, people get very attached to what we call being in flow. And when we're in flow, sometimes it can seem as if everything's falling together. Life's moving at a very quick pace, and we don't seem to feel threatened by time. It feels like things are passing by very quickly, and we feel like we're in a very exciting trajectory, which we are. But along our healing journey, if we imagine the analogy of our soul's journey is like driving on a freeway. And sometimes it seems like you're getting where you're trying to go faster because you're just driving at whatever speed you're going on the freeway. And yet your ability to see the neighborhoods on the sides of the freeway is limited because of how fast you're driving on the freeway. But then if there's a stop in traffic and you get to slow down, you actually get to see, oh, there's that restaurant there, or there's that neighborhood over there. So when our vibration slows, it's not because of anything we've done wrong, or what we call a low vibration. It's just the universe actually slowing down the perception of our reality so we can actually take a closer look at what's around or within us instead of just speeding by towards the destination we're headed. So when we experience a low vibration, the question is, how do I raise my vibration again? The question is, has my vibration been low for an intentional reason? Perhaps the universe is slowing my vibration to bring me into greater alignment with present moment time. Perhaps the reality is slowing my perception so that I can actually take a closer look at what's here emotionally or what's here coming up to be faced and felt and loved. And just like on a freeway, traffic is not in the way of where we're headed. It's slowing us down so we can take a greater look as to the meaning that's always within and around us. So a low vibration outside of the lens of superstition is really a slow vibration, and it's just life's way of slowing us down so we can find the deepest meaning in what is coming up to be faced, felt, and processed.
Mm. You also have a wonderful ocean analogy about high and low vibrations, and how if the ocean stayed in a consistent up wave, that the
Right.
surfer would be stuck up there, right? So the
Yeah.
ocean is constantly expressing itself in these
Totally.
waves.
Well, and just even if we think of waves as in sound waves and the notes in music, what would it sound like to hear someone sing in a falsetto tone for the entire song? It wouldn't be pleasant. What would it sound like to listen to music that doesn't have low notes, that only has high notes, right? So we in music, harmony or melody is really the artistic beauty in balancing low notes with high notes. When we think about cooking, because I'm very much into cooking, we think of the palate, or we think of the composition of the dish, we're thinking of not just one thing or another, but the balance of sweetness and saltiness, and the balance of acid with, other elements. And so really when we think about, and the ocean of existence example, is the ocean waves are always churning. And if we're like waves that are trying to only be in a high vibration, we're like a wave that once it gets to the peak, it just wants to stop there. And we've never seen waves that just stop at its peak, because everything is in a rhythm. So really what we're waking up out of are the stories we tell ourselves, that when the wave is here, it means something good, and when it goes down, it means something bad. Because those beliefs in reward and punishment are preventing us from really embracing and understanding the transmutation process, what it's like to have our nervous systems be like our inner alchemists, and to really see that we're transmuting density back into light, but not from any superstitious viewpoint, but by the way in which we embrace the diversity of all of our thoughts and feelings, again, by remembering it's all divinity masquerading in form. And so every time we love ourselves, we're reuniting with our divine essence and remembering the truth of who we are, one breath at a time.
I make a sincere effort every day and try to inspire others to be the highest version of my best self, so that I'm walking and living and breathing as a fifth dimensional being, for lack of other words. However, things arise. That's and right. We're constantly challenged to not be a doormat, if you will, right. To stand firm in our power and hold the space for others, right? But also to interact and react in the best way, like always taking the high road, and sometimes it might take some time, and you have to breathe through it and maybe give yourself a day or two to sort of absorb it and move through it before you respond to it. And then you can respond to it with more love and compassion. Right. But I like how you sort of shift it into, this isn't happening to me, this is happening for me. And I just need to see the lesson within it, learn from it, and then respond in the best way possible with compassion and love for myself and others.
Absolutely. And I think we start with the notion from a greater place of authenticity of, it's okay, this is happening. We don't have to say why it's happening or who it's happening to. It's okay, this is happening. There are greater reasons why it's happening. And what's amazing is you can embrace there are greater reasons why everything happens without needing to state what that reason is. And when we do so, we're aligning with a higher perspective. But I think part of the problem in the spiritual journey, or at least something that I work hard to resolve, is that, we learn about these spiritual truths, whether in our direct experience or from other people sharing their direct experience. And oftentimes the ego that is still there as a manifestation of unprocessed pain learns about the spiritual journey and thinks that it's its job to try to impersonate all that we are learning in consciousness. And so in a lot of ways, our egos become spiritual egos, and we have this pattern within us that is trying to learn how to be the impersonator of consciousness. And, oh, I have to be this way. Or if I'm not this way, I'm not 5D. Or if I'm this way, I am. And that's what we're waking up out of on a very different level, which is we're waking up out of the conditioning of ego. We're also waking up out of spiritual conditioning. We're waking up to the fact that we are the liberation of divinity itself. We are here to love what arises, but it's hard to love ourselves and tell ourselves what to do simultaneously. So my job is to help people transform inner criticism into positive self-talk, knowing the most authentic way to raise our vibration is to praise our vibration. And so oftentimes we're only as powerful as the nicest things we say to ourselves. And so may we know our power. May we raise our vibration by praising our vibration and honoring ourselves, honoring the space we need, honoring the reactions we have, and not making it about what I should or shouldn't do, but allowing everything such an open space to be welcomed that we can feel our experiences without lowering the standard of our maturity or our behavior. And that's the goal, and that's the journey we're all on. And we're all taking steps forward in that direction in each and every breath, whether we see it or not.
Bless you, Matt, for dedicating your life to the awakening and ascension of humanity.
Thank you.
For being such a powerful healer through your sessions, through your books, through your YouTubes. Thank you for spending so much time creating YouTube videos, because I know they've reached over 20 million people.
Yeah.
And they're so energetic. It's such an energetic transformation to engage in your YouTube. You're not just watching it, you're experiencing it and feeling it and shifting from it.
Thank you.
So you've really mastered the ability to use that media as a healing, shifting, transformational tool.
Thank you.
And thank you.
Truly. Oh, sorry, you're gonna say?
Thanks for offering a workshop at our event. Yeah. And your workshop is called All for Love.
Well, it's truly an honor, and thank you for saying all the such kind words you're saying. I will always offer YouTube videos, and it's an honor to serve the awakening of humanity. It's a joy to serve every person watching this right now, everyone who will attend the event I'm doing with you. And it's just an exciting time. I find this to be a very exciting time to be alive. It can be a very unpredictable time to be alive, but I think as we come together in conscious community, now coming together in person after so much time in our own homes and our own spaces, now is really the time to take the next step in the cosmic reset, to take the next step in our individual and collective rebirths, and to really come together in conscious community so that we can manifest unity consciousness for all human beings, but in the most loving, grounded, and authentic way. And so I'm just so excited to be here and to welcome everyone into this journey of love.
Oh, bless you, Matt. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for blessing the hearts of humanity and just for being who you are, delightful, fun, funny, and so incredibly sincere. Many blessings. Namaste. Love to all. Come and see Matt Kahn live at our Sedona Ascension Retreat and sign up for his All for Love workshop. To register now, just visit our website at SedonaAscensionRetreats.com. We'll see you in Sedona. For more speaker videos, tune in to Sci-Spi.tv.